Hello folks, and welcome to the video. This is going to be one that I've wanted to do for quite some time, so I'm going to be covering what I think is an absolutely fantastic champion that you can very possibly use to counter the meta. Now, I did make a post about this champion yesterday in some of the Facebook groups I'm a part of for Raid Shadow Legends, so I'm going to be sharing some photos here, kind of as I say it, they'll be popping up all over the screen, of people who actually guessed this champion right. So I just showed some of the teams I beat, the teams I used, and then I blocked out the only epic champion on the team. So for anyone who is seeing those and can read, the champion we're going to be talking about today, of course, is Excruciator, which is a champion that I have not really seen talked about much at all on YouTube, even really in forums or anything like that. She seems to be pretty overlooked when it comes to the topic of nukers in Raid Shadow Legends. So I have mine built out. I don't have her in Savage or anything like that. I do have her in Cruel, however, so she is ignoring a little bit of defense. Got some crushing rends going on there. So these are her stats. She has 5300 attack, 187 base speed, 100% crit rate, and 249 crit damage. So very decent stats overall, and you know, these could definitely be scaled up a little bit more. Ultimately you'd want her speed to be above around 200. You'd probably want a little bit more resistance on there. In all honesty, I wasn't really building for resistance with this by any means, but I just so happened to get almost 300 resistance on there, which is pretty awesome. More than most nukers will have, that's for sure. I did notice that she has a higher than usual base crit damage at 60%. And she has a very, very good base offense here at almost 1600 attack, and she has good multipliers to go with that. So what makes this champion so special? So let's kind of approach it from her passive. So she's going to place a Veil buff on this champion for 1 turn at the beginning of each round. So, and then she also places a Veil each time she kills an enemy. Why that's important is, so for example, when you load into an arena, that's the start of the round. That's the beginning of the round. So she's going to start with a Veil buff, very similar to Kutraxa, I think it is, starts under that Veil buff, makes her very hard to target. Same sort of thing going on here with Excruciator. She would be the more budget-friendly younger sister, I suppose, of Kutraxa. So that is fantastic already. But then if we look at her A2, she attacks one enemy. Damage is going to increase by 35%, which is not a small amount, while attacking under a Veil buff. While attacking under a Veil buff, enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. Additionally, while attacking without a Veil buff, she's going to fully deplete the target's turn meter and fill her turn meter equal to the amount the target loses. Can only decrease the turn meter by up to 50% against bosses, and this turn meter decrease cannot be resisted. So you don't have to build her with accuracy to do this, which is absolutely fantastic. And her A1, she's going to attack one enemy, damage increases by 20% while attacking under a Veil, heals her by 25% of the damage inflicted while attacking without a Veil. So what's going to happen with this champion? You're going to be able to use her very effectively against teams that use single target nukers. So in most cases, for example, Rotos or Harima, if she's doing her single target attacks, those sorts of things, because they can't actually target this champion. Obviously, you don't want to be running this champion against Madame Cerise or those sorts of things, because that is going to counter her quite effectively. But if you have any sort of champions that can keep the Excruciator survivable, so Necrit, UDK, any champions like that, they're going to pair fantastically with her. Something I do want to mess around with in the future as well is building her in at least a 4-piece stone skin set, because I do just have 2 pieces of reaction here, which is pretty clutch in a lot of situations. But if you got her in stone skin as well, the survivability would just shoot through the roof. What's fantastic about this, and I'll put the multipliers on the screen probably right about now, but this here has like a 6-point something attack multiplier on the A2. So she starts in with her Veil, comes straight into the A2, snipes out the enemy reviver, the enemy nuker, whoever you want to take down first, which is going to make it so that they can't be revived. And then additionally, she's going to place herself right back under a Veil as per the passive here. And her A1 should have a 4-point, maybe 5 times multiplier. Again, I'll put the multipliers on the screen right now. Absolutely fantastic champion, though. I'm not really going to show you too much of use with her in real time here, because I will have some footage playing over the top while I've been talking. In terms of the masteries, this is what we're looking at here. So you come all the way down to Helm Smasher, of course, help her ignore a little bit of defense, regular nuking masteries here. And I got her built out with some counterattack masteries too, because the way I've seen it is if she can counterattack and get you know, more damage when it's not even her turn, and the possibility of killing someone, keeping the Veil up, that sort of thing, fantastic. So in terms of what you don't want to run this champion against, you don't want to run her against AoE champions because she has very low base survivability, so very low health, very low defense. You don't want to run her against champions that can block passives, so for example Ramen 2 if you're not going to be faster, and you don't want to run her against, like I said, buff strip champions. So notable examples there would be of course Uko, Madame Cerise, champions like that, or even a Torment if you don't have her built in a stone skin set. Overall though, I would say she is pretty spicy, especially within the arena, how we're having trouble in the live arena specifically getting some go first teams going, right? So go second teams, survivable champions like this, they're definitely going to be kind of the meta going forward. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.